Hey, folks, we are back with a brand new show in the booth with Earl Hall, the leading edge of voiceover. Let me move my camera a bit here because I'm getting confused about where to look. I'm using my brand new MacBook to do this for the first time, and I still have it set up for my PC. So now we're all here. Look, you guys have been asking for this for quite a while now in regards to me coming in and doing my live broadcast once again. So I'm happy to say that we are back. Um, so much has gone on. The last live broadcast that I did a small one last week, but really before that, it was all the way back going to August 3rd. And so many great things have happened since that time. And what I really want to be able to do and focus in on is to really be able to help some of you really break beyond some of the things that are holding you back. So many times, I think, and make sure you go ahead and say hi when you come in so I know who's here. Uh, so with that, um, there's still a lot to do in regards to what it is that you need to be doing in order to build the voiceover business that you really, really want to build. And what I can say about this is that it's beyond the strategies. It's beyond the tactics and the marketing plans and things of that nature. Because one of the things that I've become fully aware of is that there's more to this than all of that I just mentioned. Sorry about hitting my microphone there. If it were as simple, if it were as simple as you having the right strategy, using the right marketing, coming up with the perfect landing pages, coming up with the perfect ads, whether it be on LinkedIn or Facebook or even using Fiverr, or from all the courses and all the videos and all the things, the books and everything else that we've been able to gather together. All of us have access to all of this information that's out there. And if that's the case, why are you still stuck? Good morning, Crystal. Glad to have you in the house. Glad to see you here. Before I get off too deep into all the things that I really want to get into, you guys have seen I've posted the book, Next Level Voiceover Domination. It's a compilation of both of my books, Steps to Voiceover Success, as well as Voiceover Domination. And I combined these books to make one because it's the most full thing that and the most up-to-date and leading edge information that's out there to date on voiceover. I made some additions and I made some changes. Hey, what's up, John? Glad to have you in the house, man. Made some changes to what's going on as far as inside the book. I made a few changes. There were a couple big changes. There were a couple of additions, but basically, let me just tell you this. If you've got both books already, there's no need to buy this book. If you have both books already, Steps to Voiceover Success as well as Voiceover Domination, you really do not need to purchase the compilation of the books together unless you just want to have it. It's available in paperback and it's on Kindle as well. I'm not doing another audiobook for this. I'm just not doing it. And there's a couple of reasons why. And I'll tell you that. It's because the information that is in the book. What's up, Lazarus? Glad to have you here, my friend. The information that's in the book, there are a lot of links that are in the book. So if you have the PDF file, basically you'll be able to click on the links, or the ebook rather. If you have the ebook, you'll be able to click on the links that are there. Amazing strategies. There's some PDF files that are there that are going to guide and lead you. So, but again, don't feel like you have to rush out and buy this book, whether it be the ebook or the paperback that's available today on Amazon. By the way, I'm in the top for Amazon right now for that book. So I'm kind of psyched about that too. And thanks to all the folks that have purchased the book already. But again, if you've got both books, Steps to Voiceover Success, along with Voiceover Domination that I just released about 2 months ago, Everything's cool. Everything's good. There's no need to buy this brand new book again, unless you just want to have it. Good to see you in the house, Mike. Glad to have you here, my friend. Some of you may have seen I'm doing a webinar on this Wednesday at, I think it's at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. And it's going to be the best one that I've done to date. There's a link in the description or on the page for Steps to Voiceover Success. The group. If you're in the group for Steps to Voiceover Success, you've seen that. Some of you have already registered. Some of you that have registered, you probably got a confirmation. It had the wrong information in there. The links are right, but the words are wrong. So I just realized that. So I did that and changed all of that. Andrea brought that to my attention. And thank you so much, Andrea, for doing that. So I went and did it myself. And I said, yeah, this is some wrong stuff here. So I had to go back and change a bunch of that stuff. So, but don't worry about it. The links are there. You're going to get a notice an hour before the webinar, also 15 minutes before the webinar, when I'm about to go live. And that'll have all the correct information in it. If you have not registered as of yet, the information is correct for that as well. So that's bringing everyone up to date on where it is that I am right now with the latest things that are going on. The one thing about this particular live stream that I'm going to be doing 9 a.m. Central Standard Time, Monday through Friday. One of the big things is that I want to bring you into this. Some of you have some questions. Some of you have some things that you feel like you're stuck on, and I want to help you get unstuck. You know, in the 30 minutes that I have here, I definitely want to answer some questions for you. If you want to be brought in live, I can definitely do that for you as well. What I'll do, I'll copy a link, and what I'm doing right now in the group, on the page that you all are watching this from, which is the page, not the group, but the page Steps to Voiceover Success. What I'm going to do is put a link, and I'm calling it live call-in video, and I'm pasting it there. And if you would like to join me, I just pasted that. And what I'll also do is on this actual video, I'll put a comment. So let me put the comment in there right now as well for this live video. Oops, I'm hitting the wrong button. Live video call in. Pasting the link right in the comments. So all of you should be able to see that there. If you would like for me to bring you into the show because you've got a question, you can feel free to go ahead and click that link. And I will see you and I will bring you into the conversation and answer whatever questions it is or are that you have. I think it's important. There are some things that I've definitely discovered over the course of 2018 that I simply believe need to be addressed. There were a couple of posts in the group this week, over the weekend in particular. I think it was last weekend through the weekend, just talking about the things going on with Fiverr. Again, people talking about this list that's going around in Fiverr, this blacklist of voice talent like ourselves that people are not going to work with because we're on Fiverr. No one has ever seen that list. And I think Tom made one of the best posts I've ever seen that in comments in regards to that whole thing going on. He broke it down extremely well. So if you haven't seen those comments, you definitely want to make sure that you check those out. But while I'm talking here, again, if any of you want to come in live on camera with me, I'll be happy to bring you in and happy to answer your questions to the fullest of my ability. I think it works a lot better. I mean, obviously you can type your questions that you have in the comments and I'll see them, but it works so much better if you're just on for a couple of minutes and I can actually dig in and see exactly what it is, the answer that you're looking for, to make sure that I give you the right one instead of having to really guess about what it is that you're talking about. This year, so much has happened in my own business and in my mindset. And most of you have heard me talk about mindset a lot throughout the course of this year. And I'm going to continue to talk about that because, as I was saying before, we all have access to all of this information that's out there. We've got access to the books, the blogs, the videos, the webinars, the whole nine yards. But people are still stuck. Some people are succeeding. A very small percentage of people are succeeding, but most people are still in that struggle phase. Where I get that word phase from? That struggle phase. So there's something else that's missing. And what I want you to get a firm understanding of, a very firm understanding of, is that if we all have access to the same information, but not everyone is succeeding, there might be something that you're not looking at. There might be something that you're really not considering. And the thing that you're not considering is you, the individual. What is it about you that is not allowing you to reach your higher calling, the purpose of what you're meant to do in voiceover or whatever business it is that you're in? Because doesn't it not seem odd that all of us have access to all of this information that's out there from the leading people in the voiceover industry, in the community? You've been to the conferences and, things like that, VO Atlanta and other things going on in different states and different cities, but somehow you're still stuck. Somehow you haven't found the thing that has enabled you to break out, that has enabled you to achieve the level of success that you are actually looking for. Now, sure, there are a lot of things that come into play with that. I mean, it's one thing to have the skill of a voice actor. Most of you do. I can just say that flat out with confidence. Most of you have the ability to do voiceover. Many of you, I'm going down the chain now. Many of you, I went from most, now I'm going to many. Many of you have the ability to use your DAW appropriately. There's still a lot of folks. You still have the ability to put together a really great sounding audio file. Some of you, going down again, have the ability to use the marketing strategies, the tactics that are out there to get in front of the people that you need to get in front of so that they'll buy from you. One of the things that I think comes into play with especially the marketing thing is your ability to have some patience with your marketing. Because here's why. And this is pretty big. When you're talking about marketing your voiceover services to companies, businesses, whatever, most people are not ready to buy today. And you've got to really understand that. When you're reaching out cold or when you're making new contacts, and I'm not talking about the things that you audition for, but even with that, this can come into play too. Because I've had email marketing strategy. You guys all know about the Mailshake strategy, right? So I still have people from a year ago coming back to me from an email that they got a year ago with me using the Mailshake strategy. It still happens. But what happens so many times is we feel like, in particular, this industry in voiceover, and you've got to really get this. Most people are not ready to buy today. Of course, we want the sale today, but most people aren't ready to buy today. So when you do your marketing, you've got to come with an understanding that it's going to take time. But this is the main reason why marketing has to be a particularly big part of what it is that you do each and every day. And what do I mean when I'm talking about marketing? I'm talking about doing things like posting on Facebook, posting in LinkedIn about the services that you provide. But if you put too much information out there, like some of you actually do, because I see it, you put too much information out there that says, buy from me, buy from me, buy from me, and not enough information on why someone should buy from you. And there's a difference. Because when you're putting out the why, you're posting little stuff like you in your booth, pictures, quotes that you might have, you doing things on video inside of your booth. I see Will Stoff does a great job at that because he posts a lot of information out there every day. in regards to he does live streams. You see him in the booth doing his Morgan Freeman impressions. You see these things all the time. And so if the only thing that people ever see from you on LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, all the other stuff out there, all the other social media platforms, if all they see from you is what I'm going to call begging every day, no one's going to pay attention. You've got to add some other stuff into the mix. You've got to add other things into that. That's just a part of the daily marketing that we have to do. Now, there's other things, especially in my mastermind for Next Level Voiceover Domination. We talk about those things that need to occur. We talk about those things that need to happen. I'm not sure why my camera just went off. I'm really not sure, but I think you can still hear me. Let me know if you can still hear me. I'm not sure why all right. So now we're good. All right. Something happened with my camera there. Now, where was I? You want to make sure that you're posting more things than just come by for me. When you're doing these things on a consistent basis, and the reason why I say a consistent basis is because if you do a bunch of quote unquote marketing today and you don't do any more until next week, you're letting too much time go by where people can't ignore you and they'll never see you. If you want to have a schedule where like it's Monday, Wednesday, Friday, you post, or Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, whatever you post, then you want to make sure that you do that. But what I was saying about, especially in the mastermind for Next Level Voiceover Domination, we go through so many different strategies that work for the individual. And here's the thing about all of this. I do not believe in cookie cutter strategies. That's one of the things that does not work. So many times, whether you read my book or someone else's book or watch someone else's webinar or training on how to build your voiceover business, it's all constituted on what it is that has worked for that individual. And what has worked for that individual may not even be close to what would work for you. People want to sell this as a cookie cutter process, and it simply is not. And I've figured that out, and I've seen that over the course of the past 2 years. It's just not, if you take a cookie cutter approach and you try and be like anybody, you can call whatever name it is you want to call out there, and you try and be like that particular person or market like that particular person does, it doesn't mean that that's authentically who you are. One of the things that I deal with, especially in our mastermind, is one simple question: what do you want? And the reason I ask that question is because we go to so many different voiceover coaches and we'll listen to this and we'll listen to that. And people will try and pigeonhole you and put you in a box and say, well, this is what your voice sounds like it should do. And this is where you need to do. And so sometimes people will focus in on that. Most times they don't. Which both are good and both are bad. And this is what I mean by that. If you pigeonhole yourself into one thing that someone else tells you you ought to do, is that the thing you really want to do? Is that the thing you really want to do? By the way, those of you that are just coming in on, if you would like to come in, I can bring your camera in on live. If you've got a question or if there's something that you want to discuss with me, I put the link in the comments. So you'll see that link that's there, basically come live on camera. And you'll see that link. All you have to do is scroll back or whatever, and you'll see that comment that I posted right into Facebook, and you can check that out and we can have a conversation if you want. Now, getting back to what I was talking about before, when you pigeonhole yourself based on the opinions of someone else, what that does is it may not even be the thing that you're ever even interested in doing. You may be someone that wants to do promos for TV and radio, and someone has told you you should concentrate and focus in on e-learning. Well, if you focus in on e-learning, maybe you like it, but what if you don't? How happy are you actually going to be in that career path? In building that business model, how happy are you going to be? Again, the question that I ask everyone that I mentor: what is it that you want? Because that is literally the only thing that matters. What it is that you want, you're going to go all in on, and you're going to do the things that make you happy in doing it. You're not going to be upset or bothered or depressed by putting in the work to accomplish that goal that you have. Now, let's just be honest. You've got to be very self-aware. You've got to be self-aware of, can you actually do this or learn it? Because a lot of this can be learned. You didn't know how to, that you needed to be this far away from your microphone before you got into it. You learned that. You didn't know how to apply compression in your DAW before you learned that. You didn't come out of the womb with this stuff. You didn't come out of the womb understanding and knowing these things. And so most of the things that we do in voiceover, these things can be learned. You can watch YouTube videos on how to learn how to do impressions, and it actually works. You can learn whatever it is that you want to learn. So the main question that I have is, what is it that you want? And that's what you should go after with everything that is in you. Now, most voice actors, they still, and I understand that there's pressure. I understand that there's things that you want to accomplish. I understand that you want to make money at this thing. So what do? What many people do, which is the wrong approach. They go in shotguns ablazing. They're auditioning 35 times a day on voices.com, 20 times a day on Voices 123, 80 times a day on Bodago. They're doing requests on Fiverr. It's all this stuff that's going on, and it's for every genre, anything. You're just trying to make the money. I understand what that feels like. I've been there. But can I tell you a better way? Can I tell you a quicker path to get to where it is that you want to get? I see you shaking your head. When you understand that the things that you focus on are the things that grow, the things that you focus on are the things that grow. And you can't focus on everything. When you focus in on a genre, one genre of voiceover, and you commit to building that up until it works. Let's just say you do video games or character, something like that. So you focus in all of your efforts on the character genre. Your Fiverr gigs reflect that. Your website landing pages reflect that. The things that you post about on social media reflect that. Your marketing that you do, whether you do, ads on the different social media platforms that are out there, everything becomes aligned. Everything becomes you saying one thing. Everything becomes a point of attraction for that. And people start to discover you as that. Now, what does this mean? Does this mean, Earl, does this mean, if I focus in on one, I can't do the other? No, it's not what that means. What it means is that you take one at a time. You may start out eventually. Let's just say you started today in voiceover, and for the next 3 months, you take a shotgun approach, and I'm giving you 3 months. You take 3 months and you go out willy-nilly and you do the thing where I'm telling people not to do. You just go out and you say, well, I can do it all. Well, what you want to pay attention to is what you actually start getting hired to do. I said this for almost 2 years now. The market will dictate what they want from you, especially if you're taking this type of approach. When you pay attention to what you're getting hired for and start focusing in on that and leaving the rest alone, you will get more work in that genre. It will happen. Because that is where your focus is. That is where your concentrated effort is. That's where your mindset is. It's on that. And what will happen is more of that type of stuff, more of those types of opportunities will come to you. So now that you've got this particular genre nailed down and locked down, and you understand exactly how to market directly to that genre, then you start adding on other genres. Because you got this set. It's working on autopilot for you now. It's just working. Now what you do is, okay, that's working. Oh, I think I want to dabble in commercials. So you start dabbling in commercials and you let commercials build up the same way you let the first genre build up. Then you get commercials build up. Now you can go on to e-learning. You get that build up. Now you can go on to documentaries and you add on and you layer. But what you want to do to get the quickest result the most and make the most money from that is you focus in on a genre. So you don't approach voices.com or Baldago or Voices 123 and just audition for everything. Mm-mm, mm-mm. You focus in on the genre that's giving you the biggest bang for your buck. I look at folks like Will Stoff that's doing things with his Morgan Freeman impression. I look at Anthony Pica, who's just killing it and crushing it in audiobooks on ACX as well as now on Fiverr. He's become a beast. This guy is a beast at this point. So what we normally do as new voice actors or actors that have not gotten to where it is that we want to be right off the bat, we have a tendency to look at people like an Anthony Pica or Will Stoff or someone else, and you follow all these different peoples. Earl Hall, what is he doing? And you try and do everything that they're doing. This week, you saw a video from Will, so you're focusing on that. And then, then Anthony comes out with something. Oh, well, let me see what Anthony's doing. Well, let me try that. And you've forgotten all about Will. And then Earl tells you something. Oh, well, let me do what Earl says. And then you forgot. Nothing ever gets traction. Nothing ever gets to the point where it's actually being developed and built in a substantial way. I can't believe no one wants to come on camera with me this morning, but that's all right. I got enough to say. I've got, how many more minutes do I have? I got 4 minutes. So, or should I say, you've got 4 minutes before I go off air. Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Central Standard Time, 30 minutes is what I'm going to give you. When you focus your efforts, and when you quiet down everything else and you ignore everything else and you focus in on something, that's going to be the thing that grows. You will have to have patience with it. And most of the trouble comes into play. I understand there's bills to pay. I understand you're trying to make money. I understand all of this, but you're hindering yourself by doing this all the wrong way. I'm going to be talking more in the coming days about this whole mindset thing and what it is that I truly think needs to happen. Because again, going back to the first things that I talked about on this live stream this morning, you have access to all of this information and it's still not working. That means it's you. There's something about you that is not allowing this to happen. If you can rest with that and chew on that for a minute and start discovering what it is about you that is holding you back, because it's not the marketing strategies, it's not the tactics, it's not the books. Again, everyone has access to all this information. Everyone has access to all of this information. But there's something about you that is still yet holding you back. We're going to talk about that in the days to come. Well, look, guys, I want to thank you so much for being here with me. This first broadcast, we're coming back 9 a.m. Central Standard Time, Monday through Friday, in the booth with Earl Hall, the leading edge of voiceover. I'll see you guys back here tomorrow, 9 a.m. Central. You take care.